Now I started following the story of Pastor Mackenzie. Yeah, indeed I have 1 or 2 videos that feature him on this channel in the year 2019. And at that time, this particular pastor came into national limelight when he was arrested for telling people that the Huduma number was the 666 number prophesied in the Bible, the mark of the beast. According to the Bible, Mackenzie told us that that was what our Huduma number, launched by the Uhuru Kenyatta administration, was all about. And at that time, if I can remind you, the government was on a very aggressive campaign to get all of us registered to the Huduma number. So it was predictable that they'd get very upset, that Mackenzie would tell his congregants that the proposed Huduma number was against their religious beliefs. Now there's a very important clue I want us to capture from this event that unfolded in 2019. And this is about mkono mrefu wa serikali. Okay? Now, at that time Mackenzie did not have many followers. But still, the intelligence on the ground was able to capture these words which he uttered to a small congregation and to take action. Okay? The same system which is operating today. Indeed today much more improved, to deal with the radicalization problem associated to Al-Shabaab, because Kilifi is right next to Lamu, a hotspot for these terror activities, and Kilifi itself for radicalization as well. And so our security boys on the ground in this area are always on their toes, on red alert. This is very important to note, because I've heard many people, including politicians, saying that our security boys failed. Actually, they did not fail. We have to look for the answer elsewhere. And the answer is in a very simple question. These security boys on the ground, who is the only person or the only organization that can stop them in the activities? You can rule out bribing, because bribery does not come into this particular sector. I can't go into the details now, but just trust me on that one. Bottom line, it is only the government or a very powerful connected individual, very powerful, very high up, connected to the highest authorities, who can be able to pull off something like that, and nobody else. Let's get that very clear right from the onset. And at that time, Pastor Mackenzie was also charged for not taking his children to school. He told people school was evil. But then what happened next was extremely puzzling. Mackenzie's cases, Pastor Mackenzie's cases, went nowhere. He was released. Na hiyo maneno ikaisha. How now? How did that happen? But let us back up a little to understand this pastor a little better. Paul Mackenzie arrived in Malindi as the sister of a Kenyan woman who was married to a Mzungu in the same county. And he was a taxi driver in Malindi known by many for at least a decade, slightly more actually. But then one day, he was hit very hard by the low season of the tourist trade, and he opted to go to church. The story goes that he converted, and shortly after that, the controversial Pastor Mackenzie emerged. And between 2019 to date, Pastor Mackenzie's activities have always been under the radar of the intelligence and provincial administration and the regional commissioners. It has never gone out of the radar all this time. And several times, recommendations have been made to address his ideology and what he was preaching to his congregants. But the strange thing is that all those recommendations have been ignored.